welcome to round 3 of season 6. That's our feature matches this week. I'm here with Chip.
Howdy, everybody.
And we've got a match where he and I played. We've done this dance many a time. Very familiar with how this one goes. It's very much a question of like, if Chip can get ahead of me and then start ripping apart my hand, it's going to go badly. But if I can stick a big threat before it gets discarded out of my hand, then it's much better.
Yeah, and I didn't exactly play as well as I might have. I tried a couple different things to see if I could get ahead, and they did not work. But it was a fun match.
Yeah, I opted to resource the Pike Sentinel here, just foregoing a turn 1 play altogether, because against Quinlan, I know if I play that Pike Sentinel, you just Crafty Smuggler ping it and then Tarkin Town to kill it. And I'd much rather just stick this resupply, and I know I can get it down if I claim initiative there. Not guaranteed if I lose initiative there that you don't just pick it out of my hand.
Yeah, and sitting on it, I think it happened both times. I had a hotshot pistol and not a very good 3-resource play. So I knew that I was just kind of sitting on a guy that was going to get powered. But at least in this case, it meant that Qi'ra didn't really have much support.
Yeah. The ideal flip is Qi'ra into Overwhelming Barrage, and I thought about doing it there, but with the shield, it kind of made it not as tempting.
Yeah, it just felt like I wasn't going to be able to get ahead on it. Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, looking at throwing... I don't remember what I had for that particular setup. I thought it might be in the next game that I had a Ahsoka.
Yeah, Spark of Rebellion, it's really good, but if everything is, the board is clear, like I'm at 4 life, 6 resources, Spark of Rebellion is fine. It's like, it's going to take something out of my hand, but I'm just happy you didn't play anything.
Yeah, no, it was not a great hand for either of the games. Trying to build up a suitable threat just didn't seem to be something that I was going to do. I was going to look to see if I could hold on to Tarkin Town to take some of the bigger threats down, but if you don't have a real good board state with Quinlan, flipping him out, he's just going to get mowed down. Your deck appeared to be doing everything it needed to do, and most of the time it does have all the answers for Quinlan. Though I feel like the ECL version has more teeth than Data Vault, but
oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, the ECL is way more aggressive, way more plays to the board. Data Vault, the extra 10 cards hurts your consistency quite a bit, because you really want to play a ramp card on turn 2, and you don't always draw it, unfortunately. There's the Millennium Falcon. Now here I expected you to flip Quinlan, but I think you just claimed. Because I think here I was waiting to flip... I claimed. I was waiting for Quinlan to come out because I was going to flip Qi'ra to take him out.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I expected. I didn't have anything in hand that was going to give me the ability to present Quinlan as a large threat.
Yeah.
So knowing what your 7-8 drops are, what else could show up, I was just sitting on Quinlan going, I just don't have anything. And I think I think I should have just played into it. Let Quinlan go and played the game normally. I was exploring the possibility of try to keep Qi'ra from being able to take him down. I was hoping to find a Plo or something that would give me some good options. If I had found a Plo Koon, I probably would have flipped out earlier, even if he only swinging for 3.
Yeah, that
It would
just
have at
speaks
least
to.
gotten rid of Qi'ra, I think. But with the Sentinel there, I'm kind of sitting, waiting, hoping that I was going to get something, and it just started to turn back on me.
Yeah, it just speaks to the amount of times that you've played this matchup. Like I've played against Quinlan players who will just turn 5 no matter what, put that thing out there, and then you just deal with it easily. Qi'ra can kill most leaders when she flips, and
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, I don't necessarily know that what I did here was the way to go about it. I mean, it definitely did bring the game out a little bit, but think looking with Spark or Rebellion at what you had in your hand and knowing you're probably not going to pitch most of those cards. Like, no matter what I get, I'm not presenting a huge amount of threat unless I've got two units on the board. Tossing Qi'ra out there, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty much going to get killed by whatever. And I think I chose Darth Vader for it just
yeah,
because I wanted you not to get the extra unit.
yeah, Darth Vader was definitely the more value play that I could have played there. Maul gets rid of Qi'ra, but I don't get that extra board presence. So I definitely
Yeah.
think Vader was the right call there.
Yeah, I knew that you wouldn't. Yeah, you're not going to throw Super Laser Blast out because it's just a waste on one unit.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got a peek behind the curtain, and I'm just looking at it, going, this doesn't look great for what I'm going to be dealing with. So left putting out the Falcon, trying to eke out a little bit of damage, but it's not. I mean, now you've got 4 units out. There's not going to be anything that I'm going to throw that's going to cause a problem, specifically with that Sentinel out.
Yeah, I think that was the turn that I realized I'm just gonna just hit the gas, and even if Quinlan flips at this point, I have a Sentinel to hide behind, and um, with lethal next turn, I just decided that was the time. No need in just waiting.
Yeah, I mean, you may say that your consistency is down with Data Vault, and it may be. Like, I've played some of the other players that play Qi'ra, and I generally do not have as much of a problem, but you consistently seem to have the answer that you need. So I think it's voodoo and
Oh,
witchcraft that is
it's
occurring here.
no, it's called you pay the Petronaki developers a little bit under the table, and you get a special shuffle um, before every chip game.
Oh, is it just that? Okay, well, I'm flattered if
This
if
isn't
there's a fee involved.
there isn't this isn't being recorded or anything, right? Like, I think here, yeah, I was gonna say, I think here you went and played something that got rid of Qi'ra, because I remember thinking I had lethal that turn and being like, ah, dang, I gotta go one more turn. Yeah, I think here you just killed Halaban and then Plo Koon something. Oh no, you would have had to kill the Sentinel.
Yeah, I think
Oh wow,
this is over. I think I
yeah,
conceded for that one
gotcha.
because I didn't have anything. You start to realize, a lot of these are you can just kind of see the tide washing in, and you know that there's a handful of cards that could help you there. Han might have helped me to at least get some board presence without him taking some damage. But you running him over with Maul would have removed that threat.
Yeah, and here I
And
just grabbed
leaving
in.
Quinn in the background. Just I don't think it was as good as good an option as I wanted it to be.
Yeah, I wish we could see both sideboarding. I don't sideboard a whole lot into this matchup. I feel like it's a good one, but Palp's Return is pretty good when they make you discard something. You can sometimes get a discount on it.
Yeah, and I think you did. I think,
Yeah, I think so.
you got a discount on Vader there. Sideboard for this, I brought in, I believe I dropped one of the Hotshot Blasters and a Bamboozle, and I brought in 2 Gorilla soldiers, just to be able to potentially take advantage of your lightning, and get 3 to 5 damage on the board. And then I tossed in a couple of pillages. Though
is pretty nasty.
they are, but I feel like, and it may be that it's not as bad for Qi'ra with the data vault and everything. I just feel like sometimes pillage does really good, but only when they're at like maybe 3 cards in hand.
Right, yeah.
At that point, you're making some really difficult decisions.
Here we see kind of pretty much just a rewind of last game. Hotshot Blaster goes on the Crafty Smugs. He gets in for 4, and then Power of the Dark Side removes him.
Yep. And I knew that it wasn't the play that I wanted to do, but again, just I think I had an Ezra in hand, and I could have thrown him down, but I just felt like for that I wanted a little bit more presence. You had already shielded up, so I wanted to be able to put damage on there.
Yeah, here I was thinking, like, man, I could discard this No Glory and get this 3 damage in, but then I decided I would just resupply, and then next turn I could Palps Return the Vader in to get a discount on that.
Yeah, I remember it when it was coming out and wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, damn it. I think I might have also brought in a Cham Syndulla.
Oh, yeah, Cham's good.
He is very good. I think most likely the best thing for me to do, rather than bring in the pillages versus Qi'ra, is to bring in Chams and the Gorilla, just to continue to force a threat and to keep up with your ramp.
Nothing feels worse than working so hard to get your ramp. You know, you got to play 3 resources, and you get your one ramp, and then they just slam Cham, and they get a 5/4, and they did what you just did. Like, that is such a bad feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great feeling, but it's also not a great feeling to see a freaking Vader out.
Yeah.
For cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so without much on there, the idea I figured was let's make it so that whatever you end up doing, you're spending your health resources as poorly as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there I thought about trading with or not trading, but getting Quinlan killed, and then. But I've played this matchup so many times, I know that leaving Qi'ra with 1 health is prime. Is just asking for her to get pinged for no value. And I just thought, this is a race. I have more power on board than he does. I'm just going to try and race him at this point. And then drawing that Overwhelming Barrage was just, that was, better to be lucky than good sometimes.
And that is one of the things when you, like, especially when playing Blue Villainy, I do feel, although, Overwhelming Barrage being command, Vigilance Villainy, if you're forcing them to discard cards, top decking 2 cards, it almost is going to give them something good every time. I'm certain there's plenty of times where I would feel differently, and maybe I just feel a little salty about the game. But you know, sitting there with 7 cards in hand, I just felt like I wasn't presenting as much a threat as I could have. And again, Tarkin Town unutilized, just wasn't seeing anything where it was going to be great usage. Vader, I think, only had 3 damage on him previously, so Tarkin wouldn't have picked him out or picked him off.
I think here you took the overwhelming barrage, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Well, I guess it really didn't matter either way. I was going to cast one or the other.
Yeah. I think the thing that I was looking at was trying to have you spend resources to the point where you wouldn't be able to play both cards, but either result would have been the same. Of course, you're going to get to do 6 damage instead of 4, but at this point, I'm also looking at it going, I just don't know that I'm going to be able to present a suitable threat.
Yeah, this was the game I was thinking about where I was like, oh man, I thought I had him, but it's 1 short. Yeah, force throw with the Ezra. Pings the shield off, and then just being able to get down a giant 6/9 is tough for Quinlan to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, you can deal with it in different ways, but it does, again, it just requires you to have something on board. I think I ended up running Ezra into the base because I wanted to be able to get another draw and potential play rather than just running him into the reinforcement walker.
So six damage with the 2 units puts him to 3 damage. So I guess like a surprise strike, force throw, or like a waylay would do it. Would put it back in my hand at least.
Yeah, and that's what I was hoping to be able to present something. I do believe that I take the reinforcement walker down just off of I don't remember what I had in hand.
Maybe you had Cassian in the resources. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, you did take it down.
I have 2. I have a Cassian. Yeah, so I do that, and then I use Tarkin Town finally.
Nothing like drawing 2 overwhelming barrages back to back, or all 3 of them. I play 1 4 alone, pretty much, or a lone pike, just for kind of like these grindy matchups where I just need to get that little bit left. So I just play 1. It's possible I need to play more. He's so good. Just hard to find.
He is really good, especially when you get to the option to use him with ECL. Having played Qi'ra previously, but not in this particular set, Forlom was a little bit more prevalent for him, or for her. And it was, I mean, it's a good card, especially when you just want to pick apart their board, and giving a shield to, you know, a small unit isn't a problem.
No, not at all.
2 hours later.
Cassian, possibly? Nope, that's right. I passed, you claimed, and we went to the next round. Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't as much of a threat as I really hoped it would be. But that is the thing. I'm certain the matchups that this version of Cassian tends to deal with pretty well are Sabine and some of the more control heavy decks. Bosk and Palpatine don't feel negative for those. But Qi'ra's always been a weakness. So this here was me, Chip, playing Quinlan Tarkin Town versus Norma, new player to the league, playing Lakeside Leia. Believe Norma is trying to figure out how to deal with a number of the meta decks, and unfortunately, having played Quinlan for some time, it's a little one-sided, which I felt bad. We did talk afterwards, and hopefully she'll keep up with it. If she was able to present, a couple of units at a time, I feel like there would have been a much better race for her. But I was just able to pick things down pretty much each round.
It's like a fine line, like you're getting new players in, like you're excited to get them in, and like for instance, Ruben's been trying to get me to play sorcery, and so he finally got me to try it, and he just like completely bodied me, just put me into the dirt, and it's a bit of a feel bad. It's like, oh man, that sucks, but at the same time, you're like you want the new players to experience the game, but you also don't want to let them win, because that's not going to teach them anything. So, I don't know. It's tough. I'm really excited to see so many new players, though. Like, I really hope that everyone sticks with it.
Yeah, last season we had a number of players brought in, friends of Rawl over at Epic Action. That I know Ruben has been on their podcast once or so. I think Rawl might have joined you guys for doing some Under the Twin Suns.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see, we've got a pretty good following of people coming through from our friends, just joining up and kind of cultivating a community that's larger than just Richmond, Virginia, or Midlothian, where most of us play.
Mm-hmm. Is it Red 5?
And
is that the ship?
Yeah, it's Red 5. So yeah, I was able to clear the board, little damage on the ground unit, and a 2/3 in the sky. So at this point, I'm just trying to do value trades, because I know that Leia will come out, do a little bit of damage, but if she can't pair up with something, then she's going to not be a threat on her own. So I'm prioritizing picking her board apart rather than doing damage to the base. Even with the Falcon, like returning that to hand, basically getting the heal.
Yeah, that Red 5 was such a good addition for this deck. To be able to ping it, and then he can start just whittling it down. That is so good.
Yeah, Red 5 is just a really good card. Good stats with a 3/4. So even if it goes head to head with something with 3 power, you can continue to utilize it. And particularly with Quinlan, like there's not a whole lot of space-specific units that you're going for. You see the couple versions of Falcon, this and Lando's Pride. So the 6-cost 5/5 Falcon that can be smuggled. Mm-hmm. In this version of it that I'm playing, Red 5s and disabling Fang Fighters are what I use. The A-Wings, typical 2-cost A-Wing, Raid 2, 3-butt, aren't part of this. So my presence on turn 0 is going to be mostly ground.
Mm-hmm. Blue leader is not a bad play here. Go ahead and take out the red 5. Still got a bit on the ground, but it's at least a nice start.
Yeah, Blue Leader is such a good card for the flexibility that it provides, being a 3/3 ambush or a 5/5 ambush on the ground is great. I felt really bad seeing that hand and sparking, knowing that Norma was only going to have the wing leader, and it wasn't going to be able to do anything.
And it was going to get pinged. Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah. And yeah, in this point, it's just kind of bringing it home.
Yeah.
Quinlan is sat out for, the entire match now, and that makes it so easy to mitigate whatever ends up showing up without having to exhaust him. You can just ping a little bit here and there.
I've heard somebody say, I don't remember who it was, but somebody on YouTube said that if your opponent has their leader out for more than 2 rounds, you're probably not winning that game. And I think that makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Like the leader, you didn't spend any resources on it; it was free, and it's gaining this incremental value. No matter what it is, like if it's Quinlan, it's pinging. If it's whatever, if it's Han, then you're getting resources every turn. Whatever leader it is, it's got some kind of value attached that's free that you didn't have to pay anything for it. So the fact that this Quinlan's been around for like multiple turns is already kind of telling as to how the game is going.
And that's understandable. I will say that there are some leaders that I expected would be a little bit better because of that aspect of it. Poe, for instance, from Jump to Lightspeed. I expected the fact that you could take him from an upgrade, run into something, defeat the unit he's on, and then be able to immediately epic action him onto the ground would make him a much more viable leader. But the unfortunate portion of it is I think that while I do play Quinlan, I feel like the problem is that the leaders that are really good break the rule of 1 action per turn. I get to put out a unit, and then if the unit matches the cost of an enemy's unit, I get to take a pseudo additional action and ping a point of damage on it. It's the same thing with Cad Bane. It was the same thing with Django. Same thing with Boba. Of you get this additional mini action that makes the game state very difficult to deal with. You take a look at Kit Fisto that's coming out for Legends of the Force. If you attack with a Jedi unit, it's kind of the same ability that you get from Jump to Lightspeed Luke, where if you attack with a fighter, you can exhaust him as an action to deal 1 point of damage. Not having that, tempo move where you can do it in line with your other action makes those leaders not as good in the long run. I hope that Kit Fisto is good. 1 cost to be able to put 2 damage on a unit feels pretty good, but the fact that when he flips over, he doesn't continue to have that ability like Quinlan or Cad Bane, where you can continue to do damage, you're just beefing him up. I'm not certain that he's going to be as good a candidate for being part of the meta.
I hope he's a part of the meta because I've got 7 Order 66 foils in my binder, and I'm just looking to cast them, man. They're just primed and ready to go.
I had often thought that this would, this deck here would be enough to do that, but the only Jedis that you have are Plo Koon, and Quinlan himself. Ahsoka being Force Fringe, Ezra and Grogu. Grogu is Force Fringe, or no, Grogu is just Force. Ezra is Force and Spectre.
Yeah.
Might be Rebel too. But it's, Order 66, I expected it to be a little bit larger. But we never saw Jedi decks being as prevalent. I am very excited to see what Kanan Jarrus can do.
Yeah.
I have wanted to go back into Hero Blue for a while. I love Rey. I love the original set 1 Luke, but they just don't necessarily hold up. They work against some meta decks, but they have some pretty glaring weaknesses that can just, if you go against a number of decks in like a PQ or sector qualifier, and you just get knocked out. Quinlan just seems to have a good toolkit available to deal with most of the things out there. And I honestly think that he has a good matchup, a fairly close to 50% matchup versus Qi'ra. Just when I play you, I have to cry a little inside.
Yeah.
And on the outside.
Bribe. It's the Petronaki bribe, man.
Yeah, so we get back to the same setup. She did have the opportunity to throw out 2 Echo, but with being able to throw down Ahsoka previously, last card's going to go to Force Throw.
Man, I mean, you gotta giggle a little bit to yourself every time you Force throw somebody with 1 card in their hand, right? Like that's gotta feel good.
Yeah, it feels good, and with the fact that already had 1 point of damage on a unit, I knew that I was going to get to defeat one of them. Didn't know which one it was going to be, and then being able to waylay and just push damage again. I did sub in the Guerrilla Soldiers because I knew that I was able to defeat her board. And having that 3-cost 2/3 come out with an empty board, forcing her to put damage on the base. And this is also just rude. Pinging for 1, so there is absolutely no way she can't put a point of damage on her base. So he's gonna ready.
I didn't even think about that. That is brutal.
Yeah, Guerrilla Soldier, for the cost and the effect of the card, is one of my favorites. When I saw it, I knew that it was going to be really good. It's not as played as I thought it was going to be. Sundari Protectors or Defenders was a similar card. When I saw that card, I knew that it was just going to be something that was really decent. At this point, I've just got such a bored state that I'm just rushing it.
Yeah. I do like the Lake Country plan. 'Cause, I mean, 34 health is a lot of health. Colossus has to start with 1 card less just to get 1 more health than that. And I feel like whenever I play a Colossus deck, I'm just like almost unkillable with so much health. But the missing an aspect is definitely a price to pay.
Yeah, it's a huge price to pay. It's going to be interesting to see as we go through how Darth Revan deals with the lack of an additional aspect. It doesn't appear. One of the things I thought might happen is there might be a double aspect base that comes out that gives you some additional. But since that's not showing up because we've seen the spoiled rare bases, it's going to be interesting to see how he fares versus the meta.
Yeah. Well, that has been our feature matches for round 3, season 6. Thank you for joining us.
Yep, thanks for joining us, and thanks to Norma for allowing us to record. Again, if y'all are interested, we'll throw the Discord link below. Feel free to jump into our Discord, play some games with us. And again, our Season 7 is going to begin with the next set coming out, so sometime in July. If you're interested, feel free to hop into Discord, ask some questions, and we look forward to getting to game with y'all. Thanks again, guys.